Tonight at 6, a breakdown on drug abuse policies on campus, what it means for students.
And major development on the search for Nancy Guthrie as we reach almost 2 weeks since her disappearance.
Over El Paso, Texas reopened. The details and more as KSTV starts right now.
I might have delivered a package to your house, but I never kidnapped anybody.
The individual.
Portage County, and welcome back to Kent Stater TV. I'm Lexi Blatnick.
And I'm Sophia Linda. Thank you for joining us. We start today with news here at Kent.
That's right, Sophia. The university sent a message regarding drug abuse policies, highlighting the resources offered on campus.
KSTV reporter Lex Rady reached out to campus officials and broke down the goals Kent State has behind that email.
At the end of January, Kent State students received an email outlining the university's drug and alcohol prevention policies. While it might have seemed routine, the message is part of a broader push to connect students with help before things go too far.
The main goal is education, to let student, staff, faculty know that we have support resources here. It's not really meant to be sent out as reactionary.
When a student ends up in conduct proceedings, the goal isn't just discipline. Administrators say they want to figure out what led to the behavior and what the student might need moving forward.
Our goal is to make sure that the person is safe, that they learn about themselves, and that they're aware of what's going on.
Police on campus take a similar approach. If a student calls for help, officers say their focus is safety, not punishment.
We're here to get kids through college, not through booking. So make mistakes, we will help you.
The DAP email was a reminder that mental health, substance use, and academic stress don't exist in separate categories, and that the university is trying to reach students before a crisis.
It's proactive in nature to say, hey, we're here, we have stuff here, you're not alone.
For many, winter only makes things harder, and student leaders say substance use often comes hand in hand with mental health struggles.
We're balancing just personal relationships, we're balancing leadership relationships, while also trying to balance severe seasonal depression, and it's just it's a lot.
From the counseling center to the care center and peer-led outreach programs, Kent State offers a range of support options, but getting students to use them isn't always easy.
Most of this help too is judgment-free. These people care and they just want to see you get better. So I think kind of getting rid of that stigma is just one of the main crucial.
Now, statewide, Ohio tied in 4th place with the most anti-LGBTQ+ incidents in 2025. This is according to a new report from GLAAD, a LGBTQ+ advocacy organization. The report uses an anti-LGBTQ+ extremism reporting tracked down that documented 1,043 incidents, 50 of them being in Ohio, involving propaganda distribution, protests, vandalism, property damage, arson, and bomb shooting, verbal and written threats.
And in the same regard, Ohio Republicans have introduced a bill that reinstates conversion therapy in addition to laws that punish municipalities for being too supportive of LGBTQ+ youth. Supporters of House Bill 693 argue that city governments punish those who are unaccepting of queer identities. The law also prevents government agencies from disciplining parents for being unsupportive of their child. A drone captured footage showing a massive crack splitting Lake Erie. Experts say that the crack happened to pressure building up and some weakening the ice.
According to the NOAA Satellite and Information Service, the crack was approximately 80 miles long and stretched from Port Royal, Ontario to near Cleveland, Ohio.
Some major developments in the Nancy Guthrie case. Authorities detained a possible suspect behind Guthrie's disappearance and released him this morning.
Hours later, the FBI released doorbell camera from outside of Guthrie's front door from the night she disappeared. CNN Ivan Rodriguez shares the details behind the latest developments.
A man is speaking out after being detained and questioned by authorities over the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
And they told me I was being detained for kidnapping. And I asked them, like, well, kidnapping of who? And they told me this lady, I don't know her name. And,
Nancy Guthrie?
yeah, that's her. And I told them, I work in Tucson for GLS. I might have delivered a package to your house, but I never kidnapped anybody.
The individual was detained during a traffic stop an hour's drive south of Tucson. Authorities executed a search warrant at a home and also searched a car. Both of those searches taking place in Rio Rico, Arizona, roughly 60 miles south of Tucson, near the U.S.-Mexico border. Authorities did not file charges, and he was eventually released. Those developments happening just hours after the FBI released doorbell camera footage from outside Nancy Guthrie's front door, taken the night she disappeared. The video showed a masked, armed person with a backpack. There was an uptick in calls to law enforcement after the release of the footage.
This video was a game changer. We don't know how many tips they have had, but they are looking for the person on the porch or anyone who knows anything about him. And I do think it's just a matter of time before we know that person's identity.
In Catalina Foothills, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Now in Canada, new details are emerging in the school shooting in Tumbler Ridge.
Authorities continue the investigation as they identify the suspect. Our correspondent Trinity Chapman has the details. Hi Trinity, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Sophia and Lexi. Details continue to come out as Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke out to the nation, expressing his condolences after the fatal shooting this morning. The shooting left 8 dead and 25 injured, with 2 people in critical condition. 1 teacher, several students, and 2 family members of the shooter were among the victims. Suspects has been identified as 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootseller, who dropped out of school 4 years ago. Authorities had not yet found a motive. This is the deadliest mass shooting since 2020, and Canada is still trying to implement policies for gun control. In South Carolina, Alex Murdaugh's defense is appealing the 2023 murder conviction with oral arguments this morning. The defense argues that Murdaugh deserves a new trial based on alleged tampering and prejudicial evidence. However, the state argues that overwhelming evidence was presented and the jury was not influenced during the trial. The trial will focus only on the legal process behind Murdaugh's verdict. Major cities across the U.S. have seen a significant decline in violent crimes from last year. According to the Major Cities Chief Association, there has been a 19% drop in reported homicides. The association collects data from 67 law enforcement agencies. The report joins other analysis from other organizations that show the same results. It ends with us co-stars Blake Lively and Jason Baldoni were in court this morning for a settlement meeting. The court-ordered settlement conference is a last effort for a resolution ahead of the actors' scheduled May 18th trial. Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni, alleging to have experienced sexual harassment and retaliation. While on set, Baldoni denied the allegations and filed a $400 lawsuit, since has been dismissed. Both stars arrived separately and did not speak to the media. For KSTV, I'm Trinity Chapman.
Trinity, now We did see some quite warm weather.
It was like a light of hope and
Seasonal depression, no more.
No
but
more.
with that, we have Lila Schaefer-Hughes in studio to give us some rundown on maybe possible warmer weather.
Lila, please give me good news.
Well, thank you, Trinity. Now in Texas, the Federal Aviation Administration has lifted the temporary shutdown of airspace over El Paso. This comes roughly 8 hours after it was imposed.
Today, more confusion about what's led to the closure in the first place. CNN Cole Higgins reports.
The airspace over El Paso, Texas is now open after an unprecedented move in modern times.
You wake up in the morning and, they're telling you, oh, don't bother going in, it's closed. And I'm like, how could a whole airport be closed?
Late Tuesday, the FAA abruptly issued a flight restriction that immediately grounded all flights up to 18,000 feet around the city for 10 days. The pause was due to, quote, special security reasons, according to the FAA's website, and it effectively shut down the El Paso International Airport.
This unnecessary decision has caused chaos and confusion.
El Paso's mayor calling the surprise closure of his city's airspace unacceptable.
Medical evacuation flights were forced to divert to Las Cruces. All aviation operations were grounded, including emergency flights. This was a major and unnecessary disruption.
Calls for clarification over the airspace closure are mounting. Multiple sources say a Pentagon plan to use a high-energy counter-drone laser without having coordinated with the FAA about potential risks to civilian flights prompted the shutdown.
Members of Congress should be briefed on it, and it's our job to find out if this is routine training or, we've seen these guys go around what they're supposed to do. That's our job, is to ask questions.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration says a Mexican cartel drone crossed into U.S. airspace, triggering the restriction. Cartel drones are often spotted near the border, but historically don't cause airspace closures. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Find out how Kent students got a taste around the world when the university hosted its monthly cultural cafe.
Details behind the biggest return of the best hockey players to the Olympics.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Today, Kent State's Global Center hosted its monthly cultural cafe. This time, the Global Center took students to Vietnam.
That's right, Lexi. KSTV's very own Amanda Nichelle was there to see the Vietnam dishes. Amanda, did you bring back any food?
Sadly, I did not bring food back. But students did not need a boarding pass at noon today, just curiosity. They gathered for the university's cultural cafe with the goal of meeting a new culture. Since the event had a focus on Vietnam's culture, the presenters brought insight into their country's food, history, and identity. Organizers say the goal is to create a space where cultural diversity is not only taught, but truly experienced. Students attending had the opportunity to try traditional dishes and learn fun facts about the country through games and group discussions.
They're gonna curious, so they're gonna say, what is that, Daisy? So the thing that we are doing right now is kind of good thing that can tell with everybody about our country, our culture.
And so just like learn more about the different types of food you can get easily.
More than just an opportunity to get to know a different country, Cultural Cafe allowed students to connect and create experiences that stick with them by creating a space where sharing is encouraged and where differences are valued. A simple global meetup spot became an immersive experience into Vietnamese history and traditions that no textbook could ever teach. Yes.
It felt like we saw a glimpse of spring yesterday, and I know that didn't last for long, but let's take a look at what's coming our way. So for tomorrow, we have cloudy and the moon is a waning crescent. The sunset time is 5:56. It's slowly getting later and later in the day. But as we take a look across all of Ohio, we see that temperatures are still in the lower 30s. If we get down here to Cincinnati, it's 39, pushing the upper 40s. But still over here, Athens, 37. I would say still bundle up. But I did see some robins today, so I think the animals are confused if it's spring, because as we see taking a look closer at northeast Ohio, well, the temperatures are still 30 and below. We see Akron Canton's at 28, as same as Kent. And Sandusky, Mansfield, 30. We're still below the freezing point of 32. Bundle up, it's chilly. So, taking a look at everything next, well, we still see that it is below the temperatures of freezing. But if we take a look at the hourly forecast, we have 6 p.m. right now, seeing 30 degrees. Not much chance of precipitation. Going 3 hours later in the future, 28 degrees. We did come down a little bit below 32 degrees. And looking ahead at 12 a.m. the next morning, we're seeing 27 degrees with a higher chance of precipitation. Might see some snow. Looking ahead at today, a high of 41. We had cloudy skies. That 41 is going to feel a little bit colder with the wind coming in from the west, northwest, and humidity makes it even a bitter cold. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. This is the extended forecast. Thank you guys. Be sure to stay updated with KSTV. I'm Lila Schaefer-Hughes, and that was your Wednesday weather.
Men's hoops went down yesterday. Found out if Nebraska or Purdue could get the big time win.
sing.
And Tommy can't dance.
So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
After 12 years, NHL players are able to participate in the Winter Olympics. After the league confirmed that conditions were safe, it allowed its own players to play in Italy.
All 32 teams in the league have sent a player to the game, including the Columbus Blue Jackets in Elvis Merzlikins for Team Latvia and Jack Wernskis for Team USA. The road to go will be bumpy for the Team USA as the team hasn't won since 1980.
Yeah, that's insane. And Team USA is slated to play against Team Latvia on Thursday. Luckily, we have Kent Stater Sports Network's own Ryan Mead to break down the Olympics and other happenings in the sports world. Now, Ryan, who do you have in Thursday's matchup?
For sure, I'll be rooting for the U.S., obviously, but I'm your sports anchor, Ryan Mead. We've got lots of action from the college ranks to the professional ranks to cover. But first, let's jump in learning about the Olympic medal counts. With the 2026 Winter Olympics starting this past weekend, we already have seen several medals handed out to athletes. So far, the early medal count, it was Norway in first place with 7 gold medals and 13 medals total. The U.S. is currently in third place with 11 medals, but only has 4 gold medals. The U.S. so far has been very good in figure skating and alpine skiing. The U.S. will still have many opportunities to catch Norway, with events going until February 22nd. Tonight, the Kent State men's basketball team will look to take on Eastern Michigan in a key matchup for the Flashes. Kent State is coming off an unlucky 66-65 loss against Southern Mississippi, where controversial out-of-bounds play cost the Flashes the game. In the previous matchup on January 24th between the two schools, Kent was able to come away with a victory after a tough-fought battle in double overtime. You can catch this game at 7 p.m. tonight in the Mack Center or watch it on ESPN+. The Cleveland Cavaliers are set to play the Washington Wizards tonight at home. The Cavaliers are coming into this one winning 4 straight and will be excited to get their 5th in a row. The Wizards are struggling, and they have been struggling the entire season with only a record of 14-38. This will be the 3rd time these two teams have played this season, with the Cavaliers winning both other matchups. James Harden expected to play tonight again after the trade happened last week. You can catch this game at 7 p.m. on FanDuel Sports Network. And now let's go ahead and go towards the highlight tonight for Nebraska and Purdue, which it was an unbelievable game. So starting off, Purdue had a really big lead here but eventually Nebraska was was a little bit able to come back, but they were able to get a big comeback here with a big 3 starting off by Reek Mast. And then they slowly were able to come back here, and they eventually were able to not quite tie it, but then with a rebound, a layup, tie game here with this ranked matchup here. This is a huge game for both teams, Big Ten. This could mean everything. And a fadeaway fadeaway is no good, so this one's going to go into overtime. And now Nebraska with the ball here, and they're going to get the lead here, their first lead of the game in overtime. But now Purdue's got the ball back. Can they make something happen? And the answer is an and one by Oscar Clough. What an amazing play. This is going to get Purdue the lead here very late. But Nebraska's going to have one more chance. What are they going to do? And they are going to not be able to get it. So Purdue is going to be able to win this game. What an unbelievable game there. A huge win for Purdue. But now with that crazy ending in Nebraska, that will wrap up your sports update. If you want to stay up to date with sports, check out the Kent State Sports Network on
sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a
Well, that is all the time we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday evening. For more stories in your community, be sure to check out KSTV.com. I'm Lexi Blatnick.
And I'm Sophia Lena. Tune in at 8 p.m. for a new episode of All Systems Down. Have a good night, Portage County.
Can you help me?
Mom, Dad, we're going out.
Thank you.
Oh, look, they're playing chess.
What you got there?
Will you help my mom?
She's real sick, huh? Hey, crew, I'll give the first move to anyone who signs up to be an organ donor. How do you do it?
Easy. Just go to organdonor.gov.
You heard him, organdonor.gov.
More donors means more hope. Sign up at organdonor.gov.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agree, the scammers are out of control.
And we need to show them how to use a password manager. Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Great cake. I'll use MFA to verify my purchase. Software update?